What is up, guys? This is Vikings Nation podcast here, and today we're going to be talking about the Vikings off season, and I have a special guest that will be here to be talking about the Vikings off season. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey guys, my name is Derek, and I'm Brandon's friend, and we've been friends for quite a while now, and we've been Vikings fans for quite a while. He's a diehard, of course. I'm more of a, kind of whatever Vikings fan, but we agree and disagree on some of the same stuff. So, it's all fun games. So, let's talk about the offseason though. So who do you think that they're going to re-sign? And I mean, who do you think they're going to re-sign? I guess more so than what they're going to actually do. I guess is the big question everyone's kind of asking this offseason. Who should they let go? Who should they keep for their team? And it's very good questions to ask Vikings fans right now. I'm going to turn it back to Brian here and see what he thinks about all this offseason stuff going on.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think they should let go Kyle Rudolph, fortunately. I remember I met him a couple years ago. He signed my shirt, especially the mixed shirt, and I would have to say I would have to fortunately let him go. The Vikings should let him go because he's been with the Vikings for like 10 years.
10 years or something like that, yeah.
Almost 11 now.
Almost 11.
So, unfortunately, we may have to let Rudolph go. I hate to see him go, but yeah. And also, we should probably let Anthony Harris go, Anthony Barr, and they should re-sign Eric Wilson. I think we should keep him for sure. He was good this season. And other than that, I think Kyle Rudolph, Anthony Harris should go and keep Eric Wilson. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. I mean, let's be honest. Eric Wilson played a lot better than Anthony Barr, and we've seen almost anything. I think that's what Vikings fans are trying to realize too. I think, Anthony Barr was really like, oh, Anthony Barr is better than Eric Wilson. Well, Eric Wilson had a better season than Anthony Barr, honestly. Yeah, so honestly, I think that it's more of kind of Anthony Barr. Let him walk and then re-sign Eric Wilson for a cheaper deal. Because let's be honest, he's a better linebacker than Anthony Barr, in my opinion. Anthony Barr is good, but is he really good enough to have that top 10 linebacker money in the NFL? That's the main question we got to ask. And then Kyle Rudolph, obviously a fan favorite for Vikings fans as well. Obviously sad to see him go if they let him go, or at least restructure his contract a little bit to at least keep him for a team for like a mentor kind of like a mentor position kind of for the young tight end receiver or tight ends. And then I think you draft a tight end somewhere in the third or second round to see if you can add on to those pieces and then have a young tight end core and then add another receiver in the draft as well, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should re-sign Eric Wilson because I have to agree he had a good season. I mean, some of the games we've seen him intercepted the ball, which was crazy.
Yeah, and I think a lot of Vikings fans are kind of waking up to see Eric Wilson has played a lot better. I mean, he had the Vikings in a lot of statistical categories that we didn't think he would lead in versus Anthony Barr, but I think that if you re-sign Eric Wilson and let Barr go, then you give that money to Eric Wilson or just even restructure his contract from Anthony Barr contract, and I think you can get a better, cheaper deal from Eric Wilson to get Anthony Barr's contract out of the way, and when you have Anthony Barr's contract out of the way, and you bring in a cheaper Eric Wilson, and then he can make more plays, play a lot more, and hopefully make a lot more plays more than Anthony Barr did, because he did lead the Vikings in a lot of statistical categories as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think he should definitely stay with the Vikings. He was one of the funnest players to watch on the defense. And yes, we should probably address another tight end in the draft. I agree on that, and probably try to snap a receiver if Chase is available. I would love to see him on the Vikes because teaming up with him with Jefferson, Thielen, Rudolph, or no, maybe not Rudolph if he's not there. Pair up with our offense can make it look even more scarier than before. And we should also talk about the edge pass rusher from Miami.
Yeah, I think all that stuff you said is pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, if Jamar Chase isn't there, obviously I think you have to find a younger receiver to when Thielen retires, I think, more so. And I think that you have to find a cheaper receiver than Thielen, too. I mean, Thielen is a great player, we know that, but he is entering his prime right now, and it is sad to see him enter his prime, but we could get a better receiver once he retires, and then we can have a younger receiver playing at his position instead of an actual older Adam Thielen. But Adam Thielen will play in the league for a lot more years to come right now, probably about 7, 8, 10 years maybe, somewhere in that range, somewhere between 7 to 10 years I think he'll play until, and then he'll kind of say like, hey, I gotta raise a family or whatever, so gotta retire and then find something else to do, obviously, besides than play football. I think a lot of good points there. And the pass rusher from Miami, whatever his name was, Gregory or whatever. Gregory. I think he'd be a great fit in Minnesota, honestly, even if the Vikings decided to let go of, let's just say if they let go Fadio Denabo in the future, or if they decide to trade him somewhere, I think Gregory would be a good pickup from the University of Miami, and I think he's a very good player that would be a very good fit for the Vikings.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. I've been doing research on him. He's a beast. I really like this player a lot. I think he would definitely fit in our defense really well.
So I think the other question that Vikings fans are kind of asking too, okay, so here's a question I think you have to ask Vikings fans. So Vikings fans have asking this question a little bit, but not like the diehard Vikings fans. Should the Vikings consider firing Zimmer if the Vikings don't make the playoffs next season, or if they make the playoffs, keep him for one more year and see what he does?
Yeah, if the Vikings were to miss the playoffs, I would consider firing Zimmer. I mean, if we do make the playoffs, then just I would keep him or something.
I mean, do you think because obviously Mike Zimmer's made the playoffs, every other year. It's always in the odd years he makes the odd seasons he makes the playoffs, and then the even seasons is just like a nutshell kind of a season where they just kind of fall apart. The question is that if they make the playoffs and going forward next year, they got to ask themselves, is Zimmer the right guy for the coaching job here for the Vikings? I mean, is he really the right guy for the coaching job? We don't know. Only time will tell from next season what the Vikings do. I think Zimmer is a good coach, but if the Vikings want to get to the Super Bowl, I don't see him as a Super Bowl coach. He's a good playoff coach. I will say that. He's a good coach, but if we're talking Super Bowl, I don't think he can make the cut for that at all. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's the answer, to be honest. I feel like we should find someone else to replace him. Not sure who would be the best fit, but I would love to see the guy from Kansas City, Eric Bieniemy. He used to be the Vikings running back coach back in the day. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think Eric Bieniemy would be a good play caller. It's just the question that he's never actually, coached an NFL team because it's mostly Andy Reid who's coaching the Chiefs, and he's mostly calling plays for the Chiefs team. I mean, it's very interesting to me what they could do next season, honestly, and leading up to the offseason, what are they going to do this offseason with free agency, and then the draft as well. I think that's what Vikings fans are kind of wondering, what the heck's going to happen here in these next couple of months leading up to the draft in April. And I think it'll be a very interesting NFL draft and a very interesting NFL offseason for the Minnesota Vikings, despite who they get in free agency or whoever they get in the draft.
Yeah, I agree on that. And another topic I wanted to mention, there has been rumors going on saying that the 49ers are trying to trade up for Kirk Cousins. Any thoughts about that?
I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Vikings won't even trade Kirk Cousins, whatever the Niners offer up. I don't see it happening. I think Kirk is a very good quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback, but is he a Super Bowl quarterback? Probably not. But is he good enough to keep the Vikings competitive? Absolutely, 100%. I think he's a great playoff quarterback, even though he didn't show it this year. But the team was so young on defense. The offense was explosive this season, in my opinion. I mean, it was just really good to where it was just almost fun to watch. A lot of it was kind of just they were more explosive than we've seen in past seasons. But I mean, they just. Look at the other teams in the league. Like, look at the Chiefs. Like, they move players around like almost every time they're on the ball. All the Vikings do is just move one guy in motion and just run the same plays. Like, think about it. I mean, like, the Vikings offense was really good and really, really, really good last season. That they actually put up really good points and really good numbers on offense. But defensively, they didn't put up as much points as they wanted to, and the reason because of that is because that their defense was so young. But look at Kirk Cousins. He's been playing the best 2 seasons of his career out of any quarterback that we've known probably in the league, honestly, right now. And he's playing his best football I've seen probably from him in the last almost 2 seasons he's been in the Vikings. 3 seasons, actually.
Yeah, I agree. He's definitely been playing his best football, especially because since his third year, I've noticed. Well, even though he started out really bad, as we know, but the one thing I've noticed about him is that he's starting to move out of the pocket more, a little bit. He's starting to learn how to get out of the pocket and not getting sacked, and that's a good thing. That's what we need to see in Kirk, because we know in year 1 we never saw that. He gets sacked multiple times, and I mean, I know Cousins not the answer for us to go to the Super Bowl, but what would happen if the Vikings get a really good offensive line for Kirk? Then what would happen? What would we think if the Vikings give Kirk a good O-line?
Yeah, that's kind of a question too. If they can't build an offensive line, then that's on the general manager. Then at that point, I mean, the coach can't really coach an offensive line except get them to see their man coming. Really, if the Vikings can't build an offensive line for Kirk Cousins, then that's on Rick Spielman, 100%. I don't care what anyone says. If you can't find an offensive line for Kirk Cousins, if you have a good offensive line for Kirk Cousins, then heck yeah, you keep Rick Spielman. But if you can't find a good offensive lineman, then I'd say you can't build a good offensive line from Kirk. I agree with you. If Kirk Cousins had a way better offensive line, I think that the Vikings would be a hell of a lot better, honestly. And I honestly think that leading up, if they got a good offensive line and they rebuilt their defense again, they'd be in a contention for possibly a good Super Bowl chance to have a chance at the Super Bowl again.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree on that. I think that would be I would love to see that happen if the Vikings were to give Kirk a good O-line, kind of like the Colts. Then I say, and build a defense. Then I think Vikings could be Super Bowl contenders again in a couple years. And having Hunter back and Pierce back, it's going to be a fun, interesting season with having them back.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And going back to what you said about the Colts offensive line, I mean, look at Philip Rivers. I mean, when he was with the Chargers, all those years, and then came to the Colts this last offseason, I mean, it's much of a difference. I mean, you don't have an offensive line, you play a lot more crappier, and then when you have an offensive line, you can pretty much ball out almost. And look at Philip Rivers. I mean, he didn't have a offensive line, and I think that was part of the reason why he kept getting hit in LA and San Diego over those years. But now he has an offensive line, and now he's retired, obviously. But when he had the offensive line with Indianapolis, look what he did. He played a lot better, and I could see Kirk playing that same way if they got an offensive line for the Vikings like that, or for Kirk. I mean.
Yeah, I agree on that. I would love to see Kirk getting a good O-line. I think that'll make him look a lot better. And yeah, and the biggest question is, if Kirk's not the answer, let's just say, do we need to draft another quarterback in the draft?
No. And the reason I say that is because, I'd rather take a more free agent quarterback. I'd rather take a young quarterback, but not a rookie. And the real reason I say that is because, would it work for the Vikings? Would a rookie quarterback work for the Vikings? That's the question. I mean, the Vikings have had quarterback troubles over the years. I mean, going back to the early 2000s, leading up to the 2020 decades, it's just crazy, what you think. You can draft a good quarterback. I mean, look at Christian Ponder. People thought he was going to be, a good answer. I mean, but he was a good quarterback in college, but then he just went the Vikings, yeah. And, it's just, to me, I think you take a free agent quarterback after Kirk Cousins, or at least I think you trade for one, and I think you just try and see what you can coach him up to be. Or even if that doesn't work, then take a shot at a rookie. Take a shot at a rookie. I mean, if it doesn't work, then draft a rookie next year. I mean, if it doesn't work, what do you got to lose to draft a rookie quarterback? You have a chance to draft a sensational, generational quarterback that could do damage. I mean, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, when he got drafted by the Packers, people didn't think he was going to be that good. He won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl already. That's just the way it's going to be with everybody in this league. I mean, look at Patrick Mahomes. Honestly, I didn't expect him to be this good. Look what he's at. He might win 2 Super Bowls now. He might win 2 Super Bowls in, what is it now? 4 seasons now he's been in the league? I'm pretty sure. I mean, I think you take a chance if it doesn't work with Kirk Cousins. And I think you find a rookie quarterback to try and coach him with a young offensive-minded coach and a veteran defense coordinator. And I think that if you have those people set up and a GM that can build a team that actually cares about a team, I think that you can actually go to the Super Bowl and possibly win it.
Yeah, I agree on that. I think we would try to get a quarterback for a free agent, which I have one in mind. Maybe Deshaun Watson would be a good one. Possibly.
You also got to think of the money, though, too. The money would be a lot of money. I mean, it'd be a lot more money in Kirk Cousins' contract, because I think Deshaun Watson's making around $136 million. So that'd be a pretty big contract to take a big swing. I mean, they'd have to cut a lot of players, I think, to afford Deshaun Watson. I mean, I'd love to have Deshaun Watson as a mobile quarterback, but the money would be just a lot of money, I think, and I think that it would just be too much for the Vikings to afford, I think.
Yeah, that is a good point because of his contract. So yeah, or we can try use the rookie that we got last year possibly. I would love to see I would like to see Nate Stanley stepping up to play. I really want to see him play. We haven't got to see him last year because of preseason got canceled because of COVID. So I would love to see him take a shot. What do you think?
Yeah, especially with the NFL preseason next year, and I think it'll be interesting to see, how Nate Stanley will do. I don't think he's a good quarterback to have a starter, but if he can prove himself, kind of like Kyle Sloter did, I think that you can kind of progress that going into the season, and I think you can, leading up to that, I think you can do pretty good with, if you can coach Nate Stanley, then great. But I don't think he'd be the answer for the Vikings. If I were the Vikings, I would draft a young quarterback next year if there is one available. Anything else you want to say, or do you think we are done discussing here, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think we'll be done discussing in this video here, and I think we covered much everything. So thanks for y'all for watching, and like and subscribe, and thanks for watching, and Skol Vikings.